Texas horned lizards are iconic to the state of Texas. For Texans and people who grew up here, everyone knows a horned frog or horned toad. The threats they're facing in the wild is habitat alteration with invasive species. Even native grasses are changing and going away, which feed those ants. And ants are the primary diet of Texas horned lizards. So there's 80 babies spread out between all these tanks. In partnership with the Rolling Plains Quail Research Ranch, they're planting a lot of native grasses and food grasses that the harvester ants feed off of. So we see an extremely high population of Texas horned lizards at that ranch. And we're able to take a few selected female horned lizards from the ranch. We take their eggs and we put them in incubators, like the one behind me, and let them hatch here at the zoo. And then those are released with the captive offspring we have too. I think there's a lot of climate-related issues with this species. For one, their gender, their sex is determined by the temperature they're incubated at. If global warming continues at a substantial rate, eventually we would end up with all one gender, or even worse, at some point the incubation would be too warm for them and they won't survive. Another issue is that these animals do like to bask and to get really warm, but they need a retreat from that. They just warm up enough to digest their food, and they don't need that high heat for very long periods. With global warming and rain patterns changing, they're very dependent on rainfall, and so I think in drought years, there are lower numbers of lizards. We would like to see this iconic lizard species available for kids to have stories to tell generation after generation. It would be really sad if this decline continues and it became more of a mythological thing. That's happened with many species in the U.S.